And I'm joined here in the studio by Clément Bonnereau for a look at what's in today's papers. Hi, Clément.
Hi.
We are going to start off with what we're seeing here in France in terms of reaction to President Emmanuel Macron's recent comments, describing French people as Gauls who are resistant to change.
Indeed, and his comments have sparked a lot of anger here in France, prompting Le Parisien to ask, is this a publicity stunt or a communication blunder? The president insists his comments were meant to be humorous, but they may prove damaging for Macron. That's what two experts interviewed in Le Parisien are saying. Macron has long been accused of showing contempt for the French. Critics have even dubbed him the president of the rich, accusing him of showing no concern for the poor and those affected by globalization. His comments are actually the latest in a series of communication mistakes, argues the conservative paper Le Figaro. It's not the first time that the French president has actually criticized the French during an official trip. Last year, on an official visit to Greece, he angered critics by saying he would not cede ground to what he called slackers opposing his reforms.
So tell us, Clément, what's wrong with Gauls anyway?
Well, Macron's comments were, of course, a reference to Asterix and Obelix, the two cartoon characters best known for resisting Roman invasion. But of course, the question is, do Gauls deserve this reputation of being reluctant to change? Or is this a trait that only belongs in comic books? Well, Le Figaro reminds us that Gauls were actually much more advanced than we may think. Rather than living in rudimentary thatched huts, experts say Gauls actually lived in elegant buildings with tiled roofs, and they were actually as advanced as Romans, playing a key role in European trade and agriculture. Catholic paper La Croix, meanwhile, takes a closer look at the Lutheran Danes, as Emmanuel Macron calls them, and argues that there are indeed significant cultural differences between France and Denmark. There is, without a doubt, a culture of change in Denmark based around the idea of personal development, says the Daily. This explains perhaps why Danes have found it so easy to adapt to globalization in recent decades.
All right, well, let's cross now to the United States. This is where we saw a private service that was held on Thursday in memory of the former Senator John McCain, who passed away last week. Now, his funeral will take place on Saturday in Washington, and many key politicians are expected to be there, except, of course, the President of the United States, Donald Trump.
That's right. John McCain delivers a symbolic final rebuke to Donald Trump, reads the headline in the Washington Post. Now, it's no surprise there was no love lost between the two men. For years, the US president mocked the senator on Twitter, but it seems that John McCain has found a way to have the last word. Not only did he not invite the president, he carefully planned out every single detail of his funeral arrangements just to highlight how much he despised the president. That includes, of course, asking Barack Obama to deliver a eulogy at his funeral and also banning his 2008 running mate, Sarah Palin, from attending the ceremony. Sarah Palin being, of course, one of Trump's most vocal supporters.
And how have we seen the president reacting so far to this non-invitation?
Well, Donald Trump has been remarkably silent since the death of John McCain. He tweeted his condolences to the former senator's family, but has not offered a tribute to his life, leading some to believe that he may actually be jealous of all the attention that John McCain has been getting. Michael Adder from the Toronto Star hits the nail on the head with this cartoon. On the left, you can see all the medals earned by John McCain during his time in the military. The former senator has indeed been hailed by many as a war hero. Now, if you compare that with Donald Trump's own achievements, you get quite a different picture, just a bunch of pacifiers. And I've also found this other cartoon. Trump is reading the newspaper. You can see him. The headline reads, "McCain lying in state." Trump, though, is not amused. "I do that every day," he says.
All right, not bad, not bad. Now, we're going to finish that on a different note here. This is certainly a story that interests me, as I am a fan of felines. It says that a village in New Zealand is reportedly trying to ban cats. What is this?
For real, asks Newsweek. It may seem like a rather odd decision. You may ask, what's wrong with cats? Well, authorities say that our furry friends are actually responsible for the death of thousands of birds and small mammals each year, some of which are already on the verge of extinction. The aim, therefore, is to protect local species. To all feline lovers out there, though, don't worry, no cat will be killed or hurt in the process. There will be no cat-astrophe.
Oh, no.
Owners will simply be asked not to replace their cats after they die. The move, though, has angered many local residents, as you can imagine, and they've vowed to defy the ban.
Indeed. All right. That's hard to ask people. All right. Interesting stuff. Clément, thank you very much for that. And for more, you can always head to our website. That's france24.com/inthepress.